Ciao, jewelry makers and travelers and adventurers. I'm Joey Balistreri, and I have returned from Italy and rested and gotten my mind and my body back into my own time zone. I just wanted to pop in and take a few moments to show you something from one of my previous trips. This was a Venetian mask that I made in a mask making class with a real Italian artisan on the Grand Canal in Venice. I did this with my son. And on that trip, we also went to the glass factory and we did a chocolate making class with an Italian chef, and it was wonderful. And the trip was really centered around my son. So on this trip, I traveled by myself and I flew into Malpensa where friends picked me up and I stayed with them in San Raffaele Cimena where they live now. And then I took the train across Italy to Venice, where I have another friend who hosted me for a couple of days and found some shops for me to buy beads. So we also did a glass museum, which was amazing with the history of Italian glass. And we took a ferry to the Isle of Murano. So I bought beads in Venice. I bought beads in on the Isle of Murano, and I'll show you some of the photos. It was a really wonderful trip, but since I was traveling alone, I only brought a carry-on suitcase and a personal item bag. I did not check any luggage, which was an amazing way to travel, to get through the airports and make connections much more easily than when you have to collect a lot of things. So I was not able to buy as much as I would have liked, but I still bought a lot. I found a lot of these. They were very popular, these Italian glass rings. So I bought a few of those. And mostly I bought beads, but I did buy a few finished pieces. And I'll lay this on my mat so that you can see it. But these are the Italian lamp work beads, and it's already a strung necklace. So I just fell in love with this, and I'll tell you about this shop that we found in Venice. So I stayed with my friend in Marghera, which was amazing to wake up in the morning and step out onto the balcony and look at this little area that is just outside of Venice. Then we took the bus every day into the main part of Venice where the canals are and the gondolas and the water taxis, and it's the streets there are all different types of boats, no cars, no bicycles. So it was a really wonderful trip. I just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to what I'm going to show you because I brought back as much as I could, having no luggage per se. I had only a carry-on bag. So I'm going to do sort of an unboxing of my Italian bead treasures. And I also did a little bit of bead shopping in downtown Torino, downtown Turin. It found an amazing shop, very unique, nothing like anything I'd ever been in. And mostly what I bought there were pieces to take apart to use the components. The prices were amazing, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. But you actually walked into the shop where everything was behind glass. Everything that they sold, every piece, every earring, every bracelet, everything was on a display behind glass with a little number tag displayed by it. And the way the shop worked is you took your phone and took a picture of the pieces that you wanted, and then you went to the very back where there was a counter, and that's where all of the salespeople worked. So you just opened your phone and showed them the pieces that you wanted to purchase, and they pulled them from boxes of stock right behind the counter and then totaled you up. You paid and you had your treasure. So it was a really unique jewelry shopping experience. And I'll show you what I bought when we go to my work table and I unbox everything. but the prices were amazing, even on a finished piece of jewelry. And mostly what I bought were ceramic beads and things that I can cut apart for the beads. So anyway, let's go to the work table and let's open up my Italian treasure box. I have moved to my work table so that I can unbox my treasures, but first up, I wanted to give you a better look at the necklace that I bought for myself. This is the most amazing bead. The inner design, just look at the dimension. The inner design, each bead is slightly different, but you can see the swirls of the berry colored and white glass with the gold foil just shimmering around it, and each one is slightly different, but it's in the most unusual shape bead, and it's almost like the inner design is encased and suspended in the clear outer part of the bead. And then there's these other lampwork round beads with the gold metallic foil also sort of encased in that clear glass. And let's see, there's only one of these round beads right in the center of the design, but they are just, I absolutely love this. So in this shop, my friend and his daughter found this shop for me. They knew the owners of this place from many years back, and they were about to retire, so they decided to close their shop. So everything was 70% off. So this is a piece that I bought for myself, and I will wear it and cherish it just as it is. But many of the things that I bought in there were, I bought them to cut apart just for the beats because of the 70% off. So also I have this out here and I'm going to show you this, jump around a little bit, but when you go through the tour of the glass museum, and even I did a glass blowing demonstration on the island of Murano, there are little gift shops at the end of the tour and as you exit the museum. So these glass rings, these Murano glass rings are everywhere, and I picked them up quite a few for gifts and everything because again I didn't have any luggage, so I had only a carry-on bag, so I just picked up a few of these to keep for myself, and I brought back a few gifts for friends. And then these little studs were everywhere, these beautiful mille fiori Murano glass studs. They were just everywhere. They are tiny, but they are the most beautiful tiny works of art, each one different. Like you can see, even in this pair of earrings, the glass is not exactly the same on either earring, but they just fascinate me. So I have bought a few pairs of these too, just because I absolutely love them. But aren't they gorgeous? These are little studs, and these have sterling silver posts. And then I got an even tinier pair, just a tiny little pink flower. They are just so pretty. I mean, I just, also again, I had no suitcase. I had to carry by hand anything that I bought, so I tried to pick up things that were small and not too heavy. When you buy a lot, beads can be heavy when you buy a lot of beads. So that was outside of one of the glass museums. And then when I came home from my trip, I took everything out of the out of the bags and the wrapping. They were kind enough to wrap everything in bubble wrap, knowing that I was traveling. So I just gathered everything into this little tin and organized it so that I can share it with you. So these are my receipts, and I don't even know if the shop that I went to has already closed its doors. Let's see where this was from. This is Murano, Venezia, Murano Glass Company. Oh, this is the name of the shop, Fulvia. And you could also see it on the door in my video with the 70% off sign. So I'm not actually sure if they are still, how long they were going to keep their doors open and keep their sale going. But as I said, I've already organized the things that I bought by color. And so I bought a ton of these Murano glass heart pendants. They, again, each one is so different and unique. So I bought just pretty much as I could fit in my bag. Aren't they stunning? I mean, they just even feel so good in your hand. The colors are beautiful, and if you look at the dimension inside each one, you see even more. So I don't have to really do anything to these. They are already have a bail, already have a head pin through them. But I bought as many as I could to play with because I was thinking that I could easily cut off what's already been done and do my own wire wrapping. I bought several of these Murano glass bead stretch bracelets at this shop. Each one says made in Italy on the tag, and on the other side the tag is stamped Murano glass. And I would not, probably not wear this like this, although it is lovely. But my thought was for the beads, to harvest the beads from these. This one I am absolutely in love with because these are my colors, all the different pinks and whites and golds. I mean, to me, it doesn't get any prettier than that. Now, these were regularly priced at €35 bracelet, which is about, at the exchange rate, it changes, sometimes daily, but that's about 37, 36 American dollars. But it was 70% off of that. So the prices were incredible. These, again, these beads can get really heavy. So I didn't buy a ton of them. I bought the ones that I loved. Now here is one that was in the blues, which I already cut this one apart because at the very end of my unboxing, I have already made a few pieces for myself, and I want to show you what I've made. As soon as I rested, I started creating with my supplies, but look at this stunning glass cube bead, and this one has a silver foil core on the inside, and then the lamp work done is on the outside, and this one has the most delicate little swirl going around the glass. Even the tiniest ones, even the tiniest bead is a work of art. The little silver cubes. I love cube beads. They're so much fun to work with. So yeah, I had already cut one open, and yeah, even in the silver, this still had the little made in Italy tag that says Murano glass. So this, yeah, just love. I'm happy all over again. These beads just make me so happy. I'm happy all over again just opening my box and looking what's inside. So these Murano glass heart pendants, I bought quite a few of these, and I've sorted this one into sort of blacks and silvers. They are just, you could just sit and look into the glass for hours. They're just beautiful. So there's my little bag of blacks and silvers and golds, and I have a bag of the pinks and whites and golds. I'm trying to remember how much these were. I can't quite remember. I know they were priced by size, so the smaller hearts were a little bit lower price, but again, everything was 70% off. So on one of my receipts, I'd spent €165, but you would have to add 70% to that if I were buying regular, regular price, if it was regular price. So it was just really, really amazing. Oh, these are little cube beads that I found in a shop that you can see in the video on the island of Murano. They had them literally in bins, and I just picked out some of these cube beads, and I have already used some of them. Whoops, one jumped out of my hand. So yeah, they have that encasing on the outside, like most of the glass, with the beautiful metallic shimmer inside. And then there were a lot of pendants in the glass that already had a bail. So this was a couple of the really colorful ones that I found, and this is what the back looks like. And it's stamped made in Venezia. And this one says Murano on the back, made in Italy. So aren't they beautiful? I mean, they're each one, you're like holding artwork in the palm of your hand. And it just, the colors and the shapes, they just make me so happy. There were also a lot of these mille fiori type pendants. And again, these were priced by size. So I just went through what was left on the table. There, that you could tell that they had already sold an awful lot, but each one, you can just look deeply into the glass. There's just dimension. There's amazing shapes and colors. They just are so, look at this one. It's small, but look at the dimension in that little glass pendant. They just make me happy. I just love them. Oh my goodness. I have to tell you guys, I sat down to watch a movie 2 nights ago with my son that was filmed in Venice, and when the scene opened on the Grand Canal, I burst into tears. My son looked at me and said, "Mommy, are you crying?" I just love Venice so much. It is such an amazing, wonderful city. I love all of Italy that way, though. Very emotional about it. My father was Italian, and it is my heritage. And yeah, it just connecting with that. And since I don't have my parents anymore, it's very emotional for me. Everything Italian, anyway. So this is just a few of beads that I actually don't even remember where I got these, because along with this shop, I did, of course, you can imagine, stopped at many little shops in my time in Venice, and I walked 22,000 steps, or a little more than 22,000 steps a day. So you can imagine, I went to many places. These are just so beautiful. I love this sort of lentil shaped bead. And again, you just look into the glass and the dimension, look deeply into the glass, and you see the swirls and the shimmer of the metallics that's encased. And it feels good even in your hand. I even love the sound of the beads when they touch each other. So there were also these types of pendants. They're formed into shapes, and in the blowing of the glass, they are not drilled, but in the blowing of the glass, the hole is created for hanging. And so each one is also a work of art, and I just love this. I think I'm going to do something with this for summer jewelry. Just the white, pretty white glass when the summers are so hot here in Florida. And then this is a round one. That's, the back is kind of concave, and this side convex, and you can just see the dimension of the flowers. If you turn it sideways, I don't know if you can see that. If you turn it sideways, you can see how the dimension just continues on through the piece of glass. And let's see what else is in here. Oh, as I said, I've already cut some things apart and harvested some beads, so my sorting. Oh, here's another one of those pendants. And more of the Murano glass hearts. Again, as you can see, I tried to organize myself by colors. Oh, here's more of the flat square pendants. These are silver and black. Here's what they look like on the back side. And some more of those pink. These are my favorites. The pink, they're like lentil shape, small lentil shape, and they have the metallics and the pinks encased inside. I just love those. And I found these at a little shop on the island of Murano. This I did not get in the 70% off shop. They're like little flying saucers. They're beautiful. They're so lovely. And they have just, they're very opaque and you can see the variations of pink to white. They're just like a little flying saucer. And I just love those. I don't know what my project will be for these, but I know it's going to be beautiful because when you have beads like that to work with, how could it not? And a couple more of these pendants. The lady in the shop packaged some of them in organza bags for me, but look how unique this one is. They're just stunning, absolutely stunning. They make my heart sing. And also having seen the way that they make this glass, on my other trips I've been to several glass blowing demonstrations, and it is truly amazing, this art form. Truly amazing. Here's another one of the glass rings. As I said, I picked quite a few of these up, not only at the shop that had the 70% off sale, but they were everywhere on the island of Venice. Oh, and here's one very large pendant. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. Oh my goodness. Also gives me ideas for summer jewelry with the orange and white flowers. Just beautiful. So there was another little shop that we stopped into, and what drew my eye is they had the Mille Fiori glass beads, but done in letters. So I brought back a couple of these letters for gifts, but I'm J for Joey, and my son's name is Anthony, so I got an A for my son, and it says Original Murano Glass Italia. So aren't they just lovely? And the gentleman in the shop knew that people would want to choose their specific letter because every single one was different. There were no two alike, so each one, the colors of the Mille Fiori would appear different. So he took the whole tray out and let me just stand there and go through everything that he had and practice my Italian at the same time. And he was very sweet and very complimentary about my level of Italian. So it was just a really fun shopping experience to get to interact with a shop owner and be shopping and be there with a friend. Actually, I had two friends with me. And so then, as I said, when I came home, I took things apart. So one of the things that I got were these little, oh, the sun is coming up. I got these little glass cubes in purple, and I just love them. They're very simple, but I did a gold and copper mix of metals and made this little pair of earrings for myself. And then I also took some of the beads that were in the whites and pale pinks and made a double bracelet for myself out of these beads, just a double strand bracelet. Very simple, just so that I could see my beads and sort of remember my trip. And then I love to do bookmarkers, and you will see that I do them in various forms as you get to know my work a little bit better. So I did this bookmarker with several beads and just created segments and mixed in some of other elements that I really like, the pink pearl beaded beads. And I have a picture of my friend from Italy in the locket, and one of those beautiful Murano glass hearts on the very end. And honestly, when I'm reading, I just love to hold this in my hand. I find myself like holding it, and they're just beautiful, and they just make me so happy. So this is my other piece that I made for myself. And then after all of this shopping, my friends and I went to this wonderful restaurant on the water on one of the canals, and I had this wonderful drink called an Aperol Spritz. It's an Italian aperitivo. Actually, I drank one every day while I was in Italy. It was so delicious, and I've learned how to make them. And then one of my friends and I took the train back to Torino and back to where she and her family live. And on my last day in Italy before I came home, we went to downtown Torino to the shop that I told you about in the introduction, where you walk in and everything is behind glass on display and you photograph the items that you're interested in. So there is where I found things like this, which this is just a stretch bracelet, which I didn't buy it for that. I mean, it's a nice bracelet that way, but I really bought it for the ceramic beads. And I cannot remember how much this was, but if memory serves, it was about €3, which is around maybe $4 American. And for this many ceramic beads, that was just an amazing price. And then I got a couple of other pieces there. This is actually a lovely necklace, even as it is. It has the barrel sliding knot, so it could be worn. I had it as tight as it could go, but again, I think this was maybe €6 or €7, and I bought it for the quantity of ceramic beads. I mean, they are as pretty as the Murano glass. Each bead is different. The painting and the glazing on each bead, each bead tells its own little story. So there was that, and I got a colorful one. And even the design of this one is really pretty. I probably won't wear it like this. I honestly haven't decided, but I think this one was maybe €7, and it has several sizes of ceramic beads and even these lovely flower embossed spacers in between, and it's quite lovely. And look, even the tiny little ceramic beads. So yeah, I bought these really to harvest the beads, but in the end I'll decide what to do with them. And then they had other things too. My friend bought a couple of brooches to wear on her coat, and I probably will not wear these as earrings either, but they are little stainless steel cats, and the cats have a little bling collar and a little blingy bow on their tail. And I was thinking I would take one apart and make some sort of a little necklace, like a minimalist chic necklace with my little cat tail hanging down. I just really had fun in that shop. So this is my haul from my beautiful trip to Italy, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!
E tu che vada? Guarda che sei una brutta razza,
Quasi ne vedi la brutta razza.
Una brutta razza, sì.
La razza bastarda. Alright. Finally so
Premi!
Andiamo tutta la giornata, ragazzi, dimmi un po',
Ho fatto bene i altri premi.
sì. No, perché non sapevo se farti
Tranquillo,
andare là.
sempre